Welcome to CheapWineFinder.com podcast. This is Domain Dave. Doing like we always do 3 times a week, we write up a review on the CheapWineFinder.com podcast. Doing it for 15 years. Last few years for the podcast, and well, right now we're on the podcast, and this is an Aldi wine. This is a wine we've done before. It's a $7.99 wine that has been good. We've done 4 or 5 vintages of it, and this is the new vintage. We had one from last year we tried, and we'll talk about why we're hitting new vintages and not new wines in a second. But this is the Outlander Paso Robles Meritage 2022. A Meritage wine is it's Association California that promotes education and research into Bordeaux wine grapes, which is, in this case, let me grab the bottle and I'll read which ones are in the bottle. It's Cabernet Sauvignon is the lead grape. And then we've got Petit Verdot, Malbec, and Merlot. The only thing missing from Bordeaux is Cabernet Franc. You actually have to pay a fee for using the Meritage name. For a $7.99 wine, we actually had to pay a fee to make rather than call it a red blend. Aldi owns owns a trademark on the name. That way they can, if they have to, change the producer. But the producer is someone who makes a lot of wines for Aldi. They're out of Greenfield, California, and Monterey. They're a steady producer for both Trader Joe's and Aldi, and they're a family-owned winery. I think they're all sustainable and maybe organic, but this is not an organic wine. And they've been around since 1972, so it's a really good producer. So one of the reasons why we're doing a wine that we've done a couple times before is that in the last 2 years, wine sales are down about 10% or more. And places, Trader Joe's, Aldi's, which used to have 3-4 wines every month that were new. It was very easy to go out and find new wines to talk about. People would see a store, it's a new brand, is it any good? And we can go, it's okay. But it's okay, but it's $6, so okay is not bad, that type of thing. But they're just not there anymore. Every so often there's a burst of energy from them, and no wines for months. The Trader Joe's Fearless Flyer, actually, in the beverage section, first 2 pages are seltzer and flavored water. Trader Joe's used to be the hotbed of new and weird wines. Not anymore. So that's kind of weird. So I'm not sure what's going on, and I don't know if people aren't buying wine because there are no new wine brands, or they're not making new wine brands because people aren't buying wine. I don't know which came first, the glass or the bottle, which is the wrong analogy, but that'll work. So what we have here is the Meritage Paso Robles Outlander. I got that backwards. I'm speaking backwards today. Year 2022. And it's a pretty good wine. It's a juicy wine. It's not sweet, but it's juicy. It's fruit forward. It's got nectar sweetness to it. It's not a sweet wine. Let me take a sip, because there is that difference. Because people think of red wines that are sweet, and that is a style. This ain't it. But being juicy, it is. It's got blackberry, and it's got cranberry, and soft spice. It's long and sleek. It's got decent length. The acidity allows the flavors to unfold. Got some dusty tannins, which are not bad. They're interesting. Tannins are good. They give the wine structure. Without structure and tannins and the acidity, you might as well just be taking a spoonful of grape jelly. So this is a pretty decent $7.99 wine, and it's consistent year in and year out. And it's made by, I'm not going to name the names. They don't put their name on it. And of who it is, but it's, it's a decent, it's better than a decent producer. And they have, like I said, they've been in the Central Coast since 72, so they have a lot of, I do think they have vineyards in Paso Robles, but I don't think they're their vineyards because I do believe they're organic, and this is not an organic wine, so they must have purchased the grapes, but there's no crime in that, especially at this price. As long as they picked well, we're happy about it. We'll take another sip, and again, this is a wine that's been good. It's been bang for the buck for about 5 or 6 vintages now. One thing interesting about this is a $7.99 wine, and it's got a heavy-duty, like Napa Valley bottle. That indentation on the bottom, the punt, it's got a really deep punt, which strengthens the glass, which is something that they do for wines that are going to be aged, because they're going to be sitting around for years, maybe moved around a little bit. So you want a good strong glass that's going to support the wine inside. This is an aging wine. This is a wine you take home and drink. So why they spent the extra money on the bottle, I don't know, other than they're kind of proud of the wine. And that there is those telltale signs where every so often you get a $8 wine with a real cork. It's like, oh, okay. They think highly enough of this to put the real cork in it. Or put a label on there that's kind of really attractive rather than just the, as cheap as you can go. So that's it for me, Domain Dave. Outlander Paso Robles Meritage 2022. Good again, and it's worth buying. I mean, at $7.99, I mean, it'll keep you happy. If you like your reds juicy and inexpensive, this is it. So adios. I'll be talking to everyone in a couple of days. Keep it cheap. Bye-bye.